We at Geek Speak are happy to tell you that Big Red Barrel have teamed up with audible.co.uk to offer you a free audiobook of your choosing. All you have to do is register for 1 month's free trial to claim your free audiobook.
There are over 80,000 to choose from, like Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy, Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, Agent of Stars, Dance with Dragon, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Whoa, slow down there.
Now that's a lot of books.
Yeah.
Anyway, just register at www.audible.co.uk/Red Barrel. The 30-day free trial means the book is yours to keep even if you decide to cancel during the trial.
So sign up now at www.audible.co.uk/Red Barrel. Hello and welcome to Big Red Barrel Geek Speak. I am your host Lauren, and with me today is Alex.
Hello.
And Monica.
Hello.
This week we have a bit of a different theme than last week. Last week was a lot of video games. This week seems to be a lot more movie-based.
And weird movies as well.
Oh yeah, very weird movies. It's not really a thread between the movies, it's just stuff we like and we should talk about. There's one I'm bringing up which neither of you have watched, and is very strange.
And I think all the things you bring up, neither of us have watched, maybe?
Maybe, and tend to be quite strange. But let's kick off with quite a sweet one. And it came out last month, 30th of Jan, and that's Big Hero 6. Have either of you watched that?
No, I know you gave me opportunity to watch it, but I didn't actually have time.
Have you seen it at all, Monica?
No, I haven't got round to it. I do want to see it because it looks lovely from the trailers.
Oh, it's super adorable. It's a Disney film based on a Marvel comic, but it's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's completely CGI cartoon, and it's really cute. I'm gonna keep saying this all the way through. It's based on the comic book Big Hero 6, which was out a fair while ago, but they have made some changes to make it Disney friendly, as you can probably expect. Within it, there are 6 heroes, if you hadn't guessed, and they all band together with special suits and superpowers to fight off evil.
That sounds like an amazingly innovative plot. Like, how did they think of that? I'm sorry, just 6 heroes and they saved the... Sorry.
Yeah. When you say it like that, it sounds quite normal in the vein of comics and superheroes, but they are all, except for the robots, they're all normal. They just happen to be super smart. And they are all...
Because that's normal.
They're all geniuses working on robotics and different branches of science within a university. But they're not all your atypical geeks. They're from a vast array of cultures and backgrounds. They're not the stereotypical nerds that you see in most movie franchises when they say, oh, you're the smart guy, you do robotics. Like, no, there's a massive guy with dreads. There's a skinny blonde girl who blows up stuff. So I quite like her. And
of course you do.
It's based in a future where like America and Japan is kind of combined, and I think the city is based in San Francisco, but it's like San Fran, Tokyo.
Oh yes, I saw some concept art for that, and it was a street corner. It was a beautiful piece of art. There was a street corner that combined architectural styles from both San Francisco and Tokyo, and it was really cool.
The big set piece that really shows that off is the Golden Gate Bridge, which has been turned into like a pagoda gate bridge. So all the
because
like towers have got
pagodas are Chinese?
Well, they're kind of Oriental.
Sorry, Japanese? I'm confused.
I'm not too sure, but they look cool. It didn't look like the Golden Gate Bridge that they have now. But the main difference is there's a lot more kind of set pieces at the start. The main character, Hiro, goes through a lot of major stuff. He loses parents, then he loses his brother, and I think he's 14, and he's a super genius, and his brother has developed this robot called Baymax. You've probably seen Baymax around. He is the big, marshmallowy, cuddly, blow-up white thing that looks so adorable and amazing. And you just want to cuddle him.
Oh.
They've got him in a lot of Yo Sushis at the minute.
Oh, okay. He reminds me of the Ghostbuster.
The marshmallow man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's nice and sweet, and he's inflatable.
Oh, so do you inflate?
Yeah, he inflates. What he is a medical robot which Hiro's brother designed when he's in robotics class, and he comes in like a little case. When he senses there's a medical emergency or issue nearby, he inflates and comes and helps you out until you are satisfied with his care. And he's just so cute and sweet, and he doesn't understand anything because he's just a medical robot.
So which part of him is actually robotic?
The inside, so he has an internal skeleton which can collapse when he's in his box thing, and then he has a inflatable kind of bubble around him to make him friendlier to kids and anyone else when he's trying to help them. So it's pretty cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
so convince me. Why, out of all superhero movies, cartoons out there, I should watch this one?
Well, the original Baymax was this kind of dragon robot thing who's a bodyguard. This Baymax is a medical professional, essentially. And Hiro finds him after an accident happened to his brother, and he decides to use him to get vengeance on whoever caused the accident. He programs this really cute, cuddly, big inflatable thing with ninja and karate and kung fu moves. So seeing this big plump marshmallow of a figure doing karate is quite funny. And then he is so sweet because he keeps trying to ask Hiro, like, are you hurt? Are you upset? And because he's a medical robot, he keeps scanning Hiro to see if he's okay. And he scans him and finds out that his hormone levels are a bit dodgy because he's upset and mourning his brother.
Aww.
So he refuses to go away until he makes sure that he's happy again.
Aww.
By doing that, he calls his brother's mates who all work at the Robotics Institute. They all come together and form the Big Hero 6 to try and find out what actually happened to his brother and everyone else in this explosion early on in the movie. So it's really sweet, and it's just so funny and charming that you should just go watch it. You would love it.
Yeah, I'm tempted to. It looks really nice, and that sounds like a fun plot. I just want to see that big marshmallow man do kung fu.
It's amazing. And there's just a bit with a fist bump. It had me in stitches. You'll just have to watch it. So cute. Any other kind of weird superhero movies that you've seen in the past at all?
Oh, weird superhero movies. I don't know if Riddick counts as a superhero.
Oh,
Thinking about that.
go for it. Tell us a little bit about Riddick.
Oh, well, hopefully everyone in this day and age has heard about Vin Diesel and how he just wants to be Riddick so very bad.
Maybe that's why I haven't seen Riddick, because I don't really like Vin Diesel.
I'm not fussed on him,
Don't
except
kill me.
as Groot.
Oh,
yes, of course, he voiced.
Okay, I've changed my mind. I
That
like
is
Vin
the
Diesel
one
a little bit.
acceptable Vin Diesel kind of role, and that is Groot.
Oh, no, I absolutely love him as Riddick, and I love that he loves himself as Riddick so much, because there's been several films in the franchise, the earliest being Pitch Black, and then there was a kind of animatrix style in-betweeny one called Dark Fury. It was at the era when everybody was doing little weird anime tie-ins.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was Chronicles of Riddick, which is thought to be one of the worst things that have ever come out.
Was that the one
sci-fi.
that he went into a prison?
No, wait, he goes into he does go into a prison, yeah. The crematoria.
Yeah, that's it. I know I've seen Pitch Black, but that was many, many moons ago. I think I've seen bits of Chronicles.
Yeah, just, it tried to do too many different plot things at once and ended up kind of mishmashing too much together. Like, he ends up at the end, spoilers, seriously, it's quite an old film. He ends up in charge of this huge fleet of warriors called the Necromongers.
Okay.
Who were, like, trying to take over this homeworld, and who are the ones who have supposedly wiped out his race, which are called the Furians. I guess because they're happy all the time or something, I don't know.
Or furious.
Such a joyous race.
They just like to party and stuff, and then, yeah, and so he is the last of the Furians or whatever.
Oh, that's always a good plot device. You are the last of something.
Yeah, that or Chestnut. And it ended on him being made the leader because he killed the other leader, blah, blah.
So a usual system of government.
Oh, yeah. I think I believe their tagline is, you keep what you kill. Manly flexing.
So swole.
But then there was a huge era of time during which there were no more Riddick films. There was a video game called Escape from Butcher Bay, which was made by Starbreeze, who are the guys who've made Payday 2. Yeah, we like Starbreeze. And that actually did really well. Critically is one of the top kind of stealth action games, and it's really cool. Actually, playing as Riddick is really great, and the beauty is it ties into the world completely if you follow the plot lines of all the different characters. They all align together. Like, there is one continuous plot throughout the films.
Oh, that's nice. That's rare in, like, franchises, because usually it gets quite convoluted and all over the place.
Yeah, no, they keep it steady. It's like, that's fairly impressive.
Awesome.
And then, on the back of all of that, I think Vin Diesel himself funded for a new film to come out, which came out in 2013. That was just called Riddick. And within the first 5 minutes of the film just wraps up everything that happened in Chronicles, just going, yeah, and he's not the leader anymore, bye. And he never speaks of it again. Which was quite nice. Like, they put in the effort to get those costumes, get those set pieces, and just really quickly tie it up. It's like, cool, done. Now we can have another story. And it's a really fun film. It's just Vin Diesel being a badass, surviving, kicking ass, and, I don't know, I just enjoyed them. They're very nice sort of stories. He's a very good anti-hero.
Whenever I've seen him, I always think they're just kind of musclehead movies, just like him going around killing things and stomping on things. I've never really thought of them of having a linear story, so I might have a look at that.
Yeah, because they bring in characters related to John's from the Pitch Black, and actually kind of refer back to movies and stuff like that. And I actually had to go and look up John's plotline, and it was like, oh my god, there's bits and things mentioned here from a video clip that was posted on a website ages and ages ago that they'd made specifically to tie into the stories. It's like, whoa, they really made an effort. I don't know, it's good fun. It's not terribly intellectual, but if you like your action movies, it's definitely one to watch.
Alex, you've got another interesting movie to talk about, haven't you?
It's interesting and weird, and it's a movie and a book, at the
Sounds
same
amazing.
time. You might have heard me mention it last week. I was, reading/watching Under the Skin.
Oh, yes.
So, Under the Skin originally was a surrealist novel by Michael Faber, and it won a bunch of prestigious awards, and it was considered amazing. And then 3 years later, they did an artsy-fartsy science fiction thriller art film, with Scarlett Johansson. And
by the sounds of it, you don't sound that pleased.
Yeah.
They're very different.
Okay.
It's not to say, I don't think watching the movie is spoiling the book, and reading the book first is not spoiling the movie. The movie is very loosely based around the book, and to be honest, I prefer the book more, as controversial as that sounds.
Well, you are a book nerd that we did discuss last week.
Yeah, but basically everyone knows what's it about. It's Scarlett Johansson is an alien, and she drives around hunting for hitchhikers and men to steal and do nasty, horrible stuff to. And generally both the book and the movie are kind of disturbing in their own way.
Okay.
There is one scene in the movie that I'm not going to spoil for those who are planning to see it, although if you're going to see it, be prepared. It's not kind of an hour. It's pretty intense. And especially that scene, which involves a sea and a crying baby.
Okay.
And then in the book, they describe in quite a big detail what happens to the man that she steals, which is also quite disturbing.
Ew.
But yeah, I was actually looking for sort of for some basic info on Wikipedia about the movie, and I came across the most brilliant description of someone just made about, because the movie is very artistic, so not much happens during it. It's all about, how she feels and blah blah blah, and weird lens flares and whatever.
Well, it's meant to be a very emotive movie rather than a descriptive movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So someone tried to summarize a part of this movie in a paragraph, which I'm gonna do a dramatic reading of, and
Yay! Story time with Auntie Alex.
yeah! And don't worry, it's not really spoilers, because you really have to see how it was filmed and
Yeah, I'm reading it right now, and it makes no sense.
Okay, don't spoil it for yourself.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. The woman goes to a restaurant and attempts to eat a cake, but retches and spits it out. At a bus stop, she meets a man who brings her home, cooks her dinner, and gives her a room. She examines her body in a mirror. She visits a ruined castle with a companion, and they kiss. At his house, they begin to have sex, but she stops and examines her vagina. Alarm.
Okay.
As you do. Wait, so sounds normal so far.
Perfect plot to a movie.
Are you
Isn't
an
it
alien,
in
Monica?
everything? Don't you stop to, I'm not going to continue that sentence.
Check out the goods. Make sure it's still there.
Don't you retch when you eat cake.
But yeah, so that summarizes about 20-30 minutes of the movie. That little paragraph right there.
That's 20-30 minutes of the movie.
Wow. She must check on it many times.
How long's this movie?
I don't know. Under 2 hours.
Keep meaning to watch it, but it looks so weird from the trailer and what I've read about it and the screenshots. Like, I'm gonna need to be in a very specific state of mind and inebriation to watch this movie.
I was gonna say, does your specific state of mind include copious amounts of alcohol? Because mine would.
Just a bit, yeah.
Well, if you're just planning to watch a movie, bear in mind, you're not gonna understand the thing. Because they don't explain bloody anything. And because I started reading the book before, I kind of like started reading the book, then watched the movie, and then finished the book. I was sitting there waiting for all these plot points and some explanation to appear, and I'm like, well, so why does she keep driving around? When is this gonna happen? When is this gonna happen? And it never happens. You don't even find out her name. She's just a nameless Scarlett Johansson wandering through Scotland.
I thought that was the point.
Well, she has a name in the book.
Oh, does she? What's her name?
It's Surly.
Surly.
Uh-huh. It's quite a pretty name, I think, for an alien and things.
So she just wanders around and not much happens. Was this directed by a French director? Because this just sounds like some of the stuff I watched in my childhood.
Jonathan Glazer? Does that sound French to you?
No.
That sounds quite British. I might Google him.
No, but yeah, that's pretty much what she does. Oh, and there is a lot of male frontal nudity in the movie as well. Beware.
Oh, he did Sexy Beast before. He's done a lot of weird music videos, like for Massive Attack, Richard Ashcroft, things for Raid. Oh, he did Karma Police.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah. And he is English.
Well, yeah.
So he's just weird.
Yeah.
He's just weird. The movie's weird.
Yeah,
read the book. Read the book, kids.
The movie just seems to have a lot of black goop in it.
Yeah, they kind of, that's the thing. They don't explain what happens to the guys. They don't explain why she lures them in. They don't explain who are the people chasing her. They don't really explain anything.
Yeah. Well, speaking of movies that don't explain much.
And are weird.
Yeah, and something to do with skin anyway. I've been meaning to watch this movie for quite a long time. It's by one of my favourite directors who I had the great fortune to meet last year and hug. And then have imaginary sex with his friend on stage. Sorry, that's Kevin Smith. Yes.
See, and I thought I had problems with else. You clearly have bigger problems.
Yes. Was lucky enough to see a recording of Kevin Smith's podcast last year in Hammersmith. And there's a segment in it where you have to, people come up on stage and they mime hump his friend Jason Mewes.
I'm sorry, what do they do? Mime hump?
Mime hump. So they pretend to have sex with his friend Jason Mewes on stage. 2 different themes. So when they ask for volunteers, naturally I run up on stage. And I was told to pretend to have sex with him while pretending to be an Ewok. Proudest moment of my life. So happy. And then I got to hug them both, and that's like 14-year-old me was just screaming. I've loved Kevin Smith, well, since I was 14 pretty much. And his movies tend to be dick and fart jokes, very adolescent comedies in their basest impact, but goes into a lot deeper about his life in America and so on. Of late, he's been doing a few more serious movies. Have either of you heard of a film called Red State?
No.
Okay.
That's helpful.
Sorry.
You know Westboro Baptist Church?
Yes, that rings a bell.
The churchy Americans who protest at people's funerals.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he did a movie as like a take on them. So looking at a cult who have a similar kind of vibe that lure people to their cult who they deem as immoral and not fitting of God's love, and then they torture them and kill them and get caught. So a huge leap from his movies like Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Mallrats, Dogma, all those kind of movies which he did earlier on in his career. This one is another kind of differ from form, but not as much as Red State. This movie is called Tusk. You don't get a lot from that title.
Nope.
It is a
I'm used
horror,
to this now.
Yeah. It is a horror comedy, but to be honest, the comedy in it is quite strange. It's based on a
Is it
gumtree.
horrific?
It's very suspenseful in the start, and then the comedy is more grotesque, I would describe.
Okay.
And you will understand why. It's based on a Gumtree advert which came out a few years ago, where this guy put up looking for a lodger in his house. Didn't have to pay anything, he was just down in Brighton. All he wanted this person to do was to dress up as a walrus for 2 hours a day and act like a walrus.
Oh my god, that was all over the internet of people posting that.
So,
Did we actually see anyone acting as a walrus?
You do in the movie.
Ooh.
But the Gumtree advert was a hoax, but Kevin Smith kind of latched onto it. He discussed it on his other podcast called Smodcast with his friend and decided to run with it and make a horror film out of it. The key part of the Gumtree advert, which is explored in the movie, is I have, over the last 3 months, been constructing a realistic walrus costume which should fit most people of average proportions and allow for full and easy movement in character. To take on the position as my lodger, you must prepare to wear the walrus suit for approximately 2 hours a day. Whilst in the walrus costume, you must be a walrus.
There must
I
be
kind
no
of think
speaking in a
you
human
sort of
voice.
digressed halfway there into your sexy commercial voice rather than this creepy,
in my
scary
head,
voice.
in my head, I was going George Takei.
Oh. Yeah, it started very accenty.
Oh, I don't know. My throat is screwed this week. I've just been chucking antiseptic throat spray in there. It's dying. Anyway, Kevin Smith ran with that idea to,
As you would.
to its most extreme end. It is a horror movie based on that idea. What happens is this podcaster goes up to Canada to meet with this kid they find on the internet who is called I can't even remember what it's called, but it's a kid that chops his leg off with a lightsaber, essentially. Not a lightsaber, a katana. And that kid can no longer interview. So the podcaster is stuck in Canada, nothing to do, really expensive fly home. So he looks for another story and finds this man who's put an advert on a restroom wall in a random bar in Canada. So he goes along, tries to find it, turns up at this guy's house in the middle of nowhere, not telling anyone where he's going. Which is
as
always a good idea.
Yeah. I love it when movies do that. Makes sense.
And gets drugged, chopped up,
Ah.
and turned into a walrus.
Oh, you had me till chopped up, like, oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
And when I say turned into a walrus, I mean as much as a human being can be turned into a walrus using a walrus suit made out of human skin.
Yeah, what?
I have to say, right now I prefer my alien,
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
And this guy has done it a fair few times, and we have a detective, a disgraced detective who's on his trail, who's also an alcoholic,
Of course.
who's also a extremely heavily made up Johnny Depp.
Oh.
Wait, Johnny Depp is in this movie?
Yeah, and he
Wow.
has a hilarious French-Canadian accent.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's ridiculous.
Johnny,
So-
what's happening to you?
Yeah, so that is basically it. It's a serial killer who turns people into human walruses, and you can't get turned back because he messes with the body. It's so weird.
So, when he turns people into walruses, does he use some voodoo magic, or there's some scientific explanation, or there is no explanation?
There's very little explanation, but you do see what he's trying to do. He pretty much, he's made a kind of suit out of human skin, like for the tail and part of the head. But with the actual live person who he's chopping up, he chops off the legs at the knee, sews them together, creates kind of wing flaps out the arms to make the army things. And then from the bones that he's chopped off the legs, he makes tusks, which he then drills holes into the face to attach them.
God, after this I'm gonna have to watch something to cheer myself up, like, I don't know, Alien?
Yeah, what did I watch? Because we watched that quite late one night, and I think I watched a Disney movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I watched a Disney movie after. I think I watched Hercules, because I just needed something cheerful. I love Kevin Smith, and he's got a new movie coming out, I think, next year, which is based on two of the characters that pop up in this film, which is his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. And they are yoga fanatics who team up with Johnny Depp's character to fight some sort of mystical evil. So it's a new universe for him. It's a very, very strange film. I do suggest watching it just to see how weird it is.
No, I'm okay. I can't do gruesome.
I think
It's not that gruesome, to be honest. The first 45 minutes is very kind of suspensey.
Yeah, but bony, cutty, soy.
No, you don't see much.
I
of
know,
that.
but I don't even need to see it. Like, just thinking about it grosses me out.
Well, that's fair enough.
I don't watch horror movies. I am a massive wuss.
I tell you one you shouldn't watch then.
Me too.
What?
Okay, don't watch Rubber.
Huh?
Okay.
Have either of you heard of Rubber?
No.
No, probably for a good reason, because we don't watch horror movies.
Yeah.
I don't like horror movies, but this is just strange. It's about a telekinetic tire who's been chucked away, and he turns evil and seeks his vengeance against people.
What? That sounds
Yep.
like the terrible cow horror movie I once saw by accident.
Cow one?
Yeah, it's an Irish, I believe, horror movie filmed in Ireland where they go
Never.
to this cow farm and there's some kind of the people owning the farm had tried to develop a super cow that could give birth and could grow really, really quickly.
Are you talking about Black Sheep? Because that sounds like Black Sheep.
Is it black sheep? I don't know. It's got cows. It's not sheep.
This one's sheep in New Zealand, and it sounds essentially the same. And it's a sheep farm next to genetic testing places, which mean kidnapping sheep and testing them to make super sheep. And all the failed experiments just get chucked into a pit, and then some of them survived, got out, started biting people, and turning them into were-sheep.
Were-sheep? Oh god,
Why
no.
is the Welsh person talking about sheep? Why is this happening?
Can you say super sheep again?
What, sheep?
Super sheep.
Oh, super sheep.
sheep? See, super sheep sounds cooler. Like, these cows just go completely mental, and the baby, one of them has this really horrible baby thing, and they do bite you, and I think you just get really ill and die. I don't think you
Isn't
turn
that
into a
mad cow
were-cow.
disease?
Yes, but you have to eat them for mad cow disease, I believe.
Can I just say,
they can't
why
eat you.
is Alien Scarlett Johansson is the least weird thing on today's podcast?
Because
we're sleepy.
because cinema has some really bizarre stuff. But yeah, I don't know what the cow film is called. I'll look it up and mention it. But that were-sheep film sounds amazing.
It's Black Sheep.
Black sheep.
Black Sheep. I'm pretty sure
Which are super sheep.
it's on Netflix. It was either on Netflix or Love Film, because a couple of Halloweens ago, me and my friends, we just had a weird horror movie night, and we watched Black Sheep, Rubber, Dead Snow, and then we finished it off with Dusk Till Dawn, just for some normality.
Yeah.
There's another Irish horror movie, which is, I can't remember what it's called. I think I found it on Netflix as well. And is, they have to be pissed, otherwise the aliens take them over.
What?
So their only refuge is the pub.
What?
Yeah, I'll have to look that one up now.
Oh, the cow film is called Isolation.
Oh, I'm new to that one.
On Remote Irish Farms, 2005. So you have to be, in this as one you have to be drunk to not be taken by the aliens?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like the main story point is they have to drink to survive. But then they pass out, and as they passed out, they start sobering up and getting hangovers, and then when they're hungover, the aliens take them over or something. Or the parasite.
Wow. Gives a whole new meaning to Father Ted.
Just a bit, yeah. Right, shall we go to some, well, not some normality, some good old-fashioned incestuous storylines. Game of Thrones, Alex?
Yay. I thought, hey, I'm gonna go to something less weird and less bloody, and then I was like, no, Game of Thrones is not less weird or less bloody.
I was going to say less mutilation, but I don't think that's strictly correct.
No, I think we have a bit of a gruesome podcast today.
Yay.
All the topics, they're too bloody.
Well, it is Valentine's Day.
Oh, yay! Oh, red.
Blood coming out of hearts. So romantic.
Yep. Anyway.
Oh, ew.
Anyway.
I'll drag you back to the point, which is that episode 2 of Telltale's Game of Thrones came out. It's called The Lost Lords.
Woo!
It's been delayed, and it finally came out.
Oh, don't tell me about delayed bloody Telltale games.
Ha ha ha. In short, I think it's not as good as the first one.
Yeah.
And I still have all the same problems I had with the first one.
Tell us about it. because that was on a podcast which is not being released.
Yeah, well, I don't have any problems with the storyline of how they adapted it or how they did the characters. I have, most problem I have is with the graphics and, the way, and I really don't like that, even though I understand why they did it, I don't like that they tried to use actors' faces.
Oh, yeah.
To model in, and I kind of get it, like, correct me if I'm wrong at some point, but, I mean, Telltale games are available on every platform existing on the universe, basically. And I think it's a game that you don't have to be gamer to understand and to play, because it's just so easy.
Oh, yeah, all the, kind of Telltale point and clicks are so accessible. Like, with the Walking Dead ones, I actually prefer that to the TV series. It's just, the storyline's so much more interesting and immersive, and you can just get on with it. There's no real gameplay you have to figure out, or, oh, what does this button do, what do I have to do for this combination. It is just very simple and straightforward, so anyone can play it.
Yeah.
Even my nephew was playing it, even though I scolded him for it because he's 8 years old and should not be playing Walking Dead episode 1.
Yeah, so my point is they're trying to make it as accessible as possible that will appeal even to people who don't really play video games, because, you don't have to figure out the controls and you're not scared by that. It's so damn easy. And I guess making them based on the actors and using their voices is another pull, but then, at the same time, like, I still can't get over Natalie Dormer's face.
Yeah.
And she's a gorgeous lady, like, why would you ever do that to her? And every time I play, I just look at her like, big face.
It's so difficult to make video game models that actually look like the human counterparts.
No, but you know what, I don't understand, like, for example, Wolf Among Us. I would have been absolutely fine if they did it in this art style, because Wolf Among Us has this, like, this bizarre neon pink magenta atmosphere that is instantly recognizable. And yes, sort of the models are not that great, but it looks nice. It looks pretty.
Yeah.
Here
it
just
all
looks
fits together.
Yeah. Here it just looks all dirty, distorted, and their faces are weird, and then they open their mouths and the actors' voices are coming out, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's because it was that Borderlands
Tales from Borderlands.
Yeah, the kind of Borderlands and Tales from Borderlands, the art style, and the Walking Dead art style, and the Wolf Among Us, they're very low poly models, and that kind of really gritty texture and the thick outlines actually helps.
The soft shell shading,
it really helps to take away.
They're meant to look like comic books. Yeah. They are meant to look like that, and they're probably trying to get Game of Thrones to not look like a comic book, but look more in that world, more of a book-esque world rather than a comic book like all the other games.
Yeah, but they still probably have fairly low poly models, which doesn't help to make them look human. And they were like, oh no, we're gonna make it realistic. Oh god, making really high poly models slows everything down.
Sod realistic, just make it good.
Yeah, it's just like, I wouldn't mind if they just drew out the characters. Don't even make them resemble the actors. I don't really care. And then
if they're trying to appeal to a bigger audience, people who have only watched the show, I guess, are gonna respond better to be like, hey, this is Tyrion. He looks like it's the Tyrion from the show.
No, I absolutely agree, and I get it why they've done it, but it's the thing that takes me out of the game when I see someone whose face was completely distorted, and I'm like, I'm not really playing the story from the universe, I'm playing the story from this TV show.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, yeah, the whole episode was sort of setting up for episodes to come. They introduced a new character, so one of those brothers who was sort of extradited? That's the wrong word. Yes.
Banished?
Yeah, there we go, banished. That's the word I was looking for. Banished to Essos, and he's been their sellsword and generally is trying to kick ass, but I thought he would be more of a kick-ass character, and he turned out to be a little bit weird, and in general, I played very badly, because, yeah, I don't know why. I was way more excited about the first episode than I was about the second, so I made some really bad decisions,
Yeah, well, I'm guessing because, like, the first episode, you didn't know what was expected, so you were getting proper involved, and then you got a bit disheartened, and then you were waiting, and it was delayed, and then it wasn't what you thought, so you're like, let's get through this.
Yeah. I still enjoyed it. I mean, I'm quite interested how they pull the whole storyline together, but that's all I have for you. Oh, and the other thing that I absolutely have to mention because it was really, really annoying. There are a lot of combat scenes, especially in the first, 15 minutes. And we were playing on Xbox One, and it just kept glitching. Sometimes you would hit the button and it would not hit. There's one thing that was spent 15 minutes playing because it would not respond in time, and we would just keep dying and dying and dying and dying. And I was like, this just should not do.
That's annoying.
Don't do
That's not
fight scenes,
good.
Telltale. Please.
So does it follow the plot of the books and the series, but just kind of build secondary events around the main plot?
Yeah, I mean, it started sort of middle of third book, end of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of all spawned from the event that happened there, which is Red Wedding. You guys know what it is, or you don't know what it is, but there you go.
I've seen the memes.
Yeah, and so after that, I think it's just gonna try to sort of weave itself into the main storyline, but it's gonna go off in a tangent, and it's okay because it's talking about sort of minor-ish northern house, and you care about it because it's supposed to be your family, it's supposed to empathize with the characters, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think they have much effect on the things that are going on with the big storyline.
Oh, I see. So it's like a secondary set of characters. See, it would have been cool if they would have had maybe even an alternate storyline. Because I guess at that point in the book, you've got all the different factions. You know who the Baratheons are. You know who the Greyjoys are. And the lion thingies. It's been a while since Lannisters. It's been a while since
I knew something.
I just remembered something.
And then, have they introduced House Martell? House Martell is my favourite.
Yes.
Of the whole thing.
I was actually gonna say, I on a whim, I bought, the Ice and Fire, The History of Westeros, the book that, it's a basically very colorful book with illustration and pictures, and it's the one that everyone absolutely hated George R. R. Martin for releasing because they're like, what are you doing? No one wants this history. Just finish the book. Just finish the actual storyline.
Yes,
but yeah,
that
I
would
got
be
it
nice.
Sort of half price, and oh my god, it's so pretty.
Oh, there was this week there was the Game of Thrones exhibition in the Excel Center. No, the Excel. The O2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it had all the costumes in the set, and it's got the Iron Throne. It's tonight, and we're recording this on the 12th. So it's tonight and tomorrow, because my parents just sent me some pictures from it.
I love the costumes from that show.
My dad's just started collecting the swords.
Oh, nice. Is he going to make some?
He's not going to make some. He can't do anything with metal. He's still making me guns. Just for reader awareness, my dad makes replica sci-fi guns, and he tends to make me some Star Wars guns, which is pretty sweet. But he collects weird stuff, and his room is just Star Wars wall to wall. I was raised on that stuff.
Basically, that explains a lot about you.
So cool.
Oh yeah, just a bit. But over the last few years, he's gotten into Game of Thrones, and his Christmas presents to himself were 2 Game of Thrones swords. And I think he's got ice, which is bigger than me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's House Stark.
Yeah,
sword.
I'm 5'2", and I think he's got needle,
Oh, that's Arya's sword.
Yeah, that's Arya's sword.
and that's as big as my nephew.
Aww.
That's
Yeah.
supposed to be tiny sword.
Yeah, he's tiny. Yeah, so that's all I know. That's my
cool.
Game of Thrones knowledge, except for I know the pictures because I made cupcakes. That's it.
Oh, okay. No, I read all the books when the show first began a few years ago. I've only watched the first season of the show because I read all the books, got really angry at events, at the writing style. I won't go into now. If we talk about books next week, I will have my, why is this written like this? Oh my god, just get on with the plot. I just want to do the Monty Python. Get on with it!
Get on with it!
But the costume and like the production values in the show are amazing. I've got a bunch of friends who are really into cosplay, and they're always putting up photos of various bits of costumes and things from Game of Thrones that they're trying to replicate, and it's just like, my god, the craftsmanship in that.
Oh yeah, whenever I see the stills, it looks amazing. The costuming does look fantastic, and the detail that goes into everything looks really cool. I just haven't got into it because it seems quite a large and a bit convoluted plot.
Yeah.
I may get an audiobook thanks to the audible.co.uk. But I'm unsure because my commute is only 20 minutes, and I don't think with Game of Thrones 20 minutes is enough for
No,
a
you're
chunk
just
of
gonna
plot.
lose it.
No,
Yeah.
I'd say wait until they finished all of the TV show and then just binge on it. The plot's not actually that convoluted, I find.
The plot is not.
No, because he spreads it out so thin. So,
So should I just watch the TV show rather than the books?
I think so. Save yourself time. I mean, they're a little bit
Yeah.
different. I do have to say, though, because the way you do it, I'm obviously a massive geek of the books. And my boyfriend likes the TV show, well, I like the TV show as well. So when we watch it together, but there are so many times throughout the TV show that we just have to pause, and I'm like, and because I know this is an important moment that I don't think they made clear, and I paused and I was like, do you understand what happened? Do you understand what people was talking about? And he's like, no, actually, I can't remember from the last time what happened. So I have to
he is
go
a little
in.
bit ditzy.
He's not. It's just a really complicated show. And they constantly refer to characters that they've given, well, because obviously they're a TV show. You can't really blame them for them. They don't really have enough time on the backstories, but they also don't, because the way the books is as well, there's so many characters, there's just no way to remember and keep in your head all those names.
Yeah.
And, cause I'm geeky and I managed to keep some of them. So I have to sit down and it's like, so this was the father of this one and he named this one and that's when it happened and then there was a lover and blah, 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 blah,
I think
blah,
I know
blah.
what I'm going to get you for your birthday then. A big family tree. It's going to take up your entire living room wall of Game of Thrones.
But in the book, he does dedicate a lot of chapters to secondary characters. Like, he does bring in a lot of secondary characters. You're just like, who is this? I really don't care. What's happening to Arya? Like, for realsies. What is going on, guys? But he does actually spend quite a while fleshing out the story. So by the end of it, you know who Brienne is, you know her whole story, you know the smuggler guy whose name I can't remember right now because I'm a terrible human being. And they all have stories. As much as you don't really care about them so much, they're all there.
Yeah, but when I was reading them, the first time I read them, I just skipped some chapters. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't really care about Brienne. I skipped whole loads of them.
I did that on the last one, and then I went back and read it.
No, the only reason why I've actually got the audible version of them, and I've re-listened to them because I was doing the whole portfolio bit at the end, like, that was years ago, portfolio bit for my uni, so there was just a lot, like, I don't know, 10, 12 hours in the day when I was just sitting in front of my computer doing very mechanical, boring work. And so I've listened to all the books again. But I don't have that much time now to listen to all of them again.
But if you do, you can get them from audible.co.uk.
Plug.
/Red Barrel, and your first Game of Thrones books will be free.
Oh, you guys.
Hey, do what the boss man said.
Yes, boss.
Yes, boss.
So again, stories from Alex on her adventures playing video games.
Auntie Alex and her amorous liaisons.
Yeah.
Should
Well,
be a whole
actually, this is not. This is a very sad story. And as you might have heard me saying on the last podcast, after playing Dragon Age for a ridiculous amount of hours, I decided to plunge myself into Mass Effect.
Sensible.
Yeah, because, I have nothing else to do with my life. Well, why not just spend hours on games? I mean, anyway, so I started playing the first one, and let's just preface by saying this, I'm really bad at combat. But then I got stuck on a bit in the first one where there's a cutscene right before the boss fight. And the cutscene has Shepard saying the most annoying lie I've ever heard in my life. She says something like, on the double, mister.
Oh, on the double, mister.
Yeah. What the hell? So after listening to it for about 15-20 times, I nearly threw my pad into the wall and said, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother with 1. I'm gonna go straight to 2. So I pick up a 2, and it turns out the first CD cannot be read.
Oh, no.
Second one can, third one. And then I was like, oh, I come all upset, no, I can't play it. Boyfriend says, oh, look, we've been given a bunch of Xbox 360 games. I think there is a Mass Effect 2 in there. Go look. I'm like, yes, I have another chance to play this game. Take the box is there, go back to my room, open up. That CD has Bioshock Infinite and Sleeping Dogs in there.
Oh.
Well, Bioshock Infinite is a fair trade.
Yeah, but it's not Mass Effect.
Infinite? No.
I love Infinite.
No.
I really want a Skyhook.
Wait,
I want a
let me
Skyhook.
just finish this incredibly
Okay,
boring story
sorry.
that pains my heart. So then I go through all the box, sort out all the CDs nicely, and find out that the box that, the games that I've given up, they have second CD, they don't have a first CD.
What?
So we have 2 copies of the game. One of them is missing the CD that I need. The other one is a broken CD I need. So basically, I'm gonna play Mass Effect. And here's the exciting story for you of my life.
Aww.
Aww.
So yeah,
Yeah,
suggestions. What game should I play?
The
Bioshock
original,
Infinite.
the original Bioshock.
Oh, yes. We talked about this before. Original Bioshock.
Okay, then maybe.
Your boyfriend upset me the other day. He comes into loading, where we were at Tabletop Tuesday, every Tuesday at Loading Bar in Dalston, London. Plug.
Yep.
And he just comes up to me and goes, I was thinking about you the other day.
Oh, how sweet of him. Doesn't say that to me.
Found a Marcus Phoenix statue.
No.
Oh, started bouncing up and down, got really, really happy. I love Gears of War. I have a Lancer at home. It's amazing. It's as big as me. Then he goes, I haven't got it anymore.
Aww.
Why would you tell me this?
No, it's mean.
Why would you tease me so? I was so happy because he told me this Phoenix statue was about the size of my arm. And I thought, that is amazing. But no, it doesn't exist for me anymore. He just dangled it in front of me and then took it away.
Yep.
Like a sweet, sweet carrot of betrayal.
I know.
Oh, that's so
Quite
mean.
sad.
It's like, hey, I found this really cool thing that you're really gonna like. It's like, what is it? It's like, oh, but you can't have it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like my brother all over again. That's what he used to do to me when I was younger. It's like, oh, look at this thing. You can have it. No, it's mine. You get why? Why do you torment me so?
Actually, while we're on the topic of Tabletop Tuesday, kind of on that topic, I just want to give a shout out to Simon, who writes for BigRedBarel, but who left us to go back to Germany and is no longer in London. So, hi Simon! Come back.
Hi, Simon. He's still part of Big Red Barrel, though, so he's not gone forever. He's just at another part of Europe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't like it.
How long is he there for now? Forever now, or is he coming
I think
back?
he's coming to MCM. But that's still a
okay.
while, so basically, Simon, come back. Anyway, done.
MCM is in May
Yep.
Yeah, still a while away.
with Felicia Day. That's all I know so far.
Yep.
And then Rest is March 18th. And that's it from Geek Speak. Thank you very much for listening. This week has been very movie and weirdo based discussion. Next week we'll be focusing on books and other weirdo-ness. Thank you very much to Alex
Oh, thank you. And bye-bye.
Monica.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, if you guys want to get in touch with us, you can go on www.BigRedBarel.com and go to the forums, find our thread, and comment there. Please give us some feedback. We'd love to hear what you think about episodes, and constructive criticism is always welcome. But constructive, remember.
And anything you think that we should have a look at so we can discuss it on our next podcast.
Yes, that is very welcome as well. Or otherwise, you can tweet at us at BigRedBarel with hashtag GeekSpeak. We'll reply there too.
So, from all of us, we bid you goodbye.
Bye!
And remember, go to www.audible.co.uk/Red Barrel to sign up for your 30 days free trial and get your free audiobook.